Greetings from the Tough Break update. Let's take a look, boys. Alright, I don't care about the lore. $5.99, I already paid for it, so good stuff. New contracts, beautiful, great. All this stuff is cool. Skins, alright, awesome. I don't really... Oh, actually, I don't think I've seen these ones. Look at that swirly, I like that one. But I'm not here to look at skins, I'm here to look at update notes, new maps. Alright. Actually, let's look at this stuff briefly. New maps. I've never heard of this map. I've played this map, Vanguard, in Highlander. I'm actually shocked to see this map added because I don't think this map is ready to be official. The last is one of the worst lasts I've ever seen. High Pass, King of the Hill. So I will take a look at that. Potentially a competitive map. I have no idea. Haven't seen it. Landfall, CTF. Alright, irrelevant. New taunts. This one's pretty cool. Let's just watch it real quick because I like it. It just makes me smile. I like it. Alright, that's enough. And here's the Tough Break gameplay changes. Alright, this is what you all wanted to hear about. Sorry that it took so long, but here we go. Number 1. It's legible, right? You can read it. All class, base weapon switch speed changed from 0.67 seconds to 0.5 seconds. So that's pretty much just, I don't know. It's fine. I don't know why they did it, but there's nothing wrong with it. I think that maybe part of the reason is because throughout all these changes, they did a lot of tweaks to like weapon switch speed. So maybe they just wanted this to make it so that certain nerfs and buffs would be a little bit more... No, it's not legible. Alright, let's zoom in. How do I make it bigger? Bigger. Bigger. Here we go. There we go. There. You should be able to read it now. So yeah, I think they're just using this as sort of like a way to make some of the other changes a little bit more impactful. But basically the only effect this has is you can kind of like combo certain attacks, and then I could also do this, I guess. Is that readable? Alright, that's actually perfect. You can like combo certain attacks like a rocket to shotgun or scattergun to pistol faster, so pretty much it's across the board going to benefit everyone, so it's not really crazy, but it's cool. The better you are, the better you'll be able to take advantage of this. Upon spawning, friendly players will now show an outline. This is pretty cool too. It really helps you know whether your team is like forward or back, whether they're retreating, where to catch up with them. I think most people speculate that this sort of thing is being added so that you like matchmaking perhaps. It will just make it an easier transition for people. The communication doesn't have to be precise. Also, in other Valve games such as Dota or CSGO, you have a map where you can see all your teammates all the time. So I think this is trying to sort of replicate that sort of ability. Updated weapon descriptions. Okay. Panic Attack. Multi-class changes. Panic Attack. No longer auto-fires when fully loaded. Shots can be held and released at will. That one is pretty cool because the Panic Attack was one of the most worthless weapons in the game. So I'm excited to try that out. I think it'll make for some nice like surprise frags, just hiding around corners and stuff. So that'll just be fun. Will people use this in competitive? You could, if you're in like a situation where you're in a 1v1, I could see people using this. Or if you know someone's fairly weak and you want to clean them up and they like have to push you and your medic as a pocket, maybe you could use this. But other than that, I probably wouldn't. Reserve Shooter. Everyone complained about this weapon, so hopefully it's been nerfed. No longer boosts all around switch speed. Instead boosts switch to speed by 20 and switch from by 15. That's just something that, I don't know, you probably won't really notice. But like I said about the switch speed up here, they're playing around with weapon switch speed a lot, so maybe you notice it. I don't know. No longer mini crits any airborne target, i.e. jumping. Target must be forced in the air via blast, jump, knockback, air blast, or grapple. Fucking grapple, goddamn. That's good. This is essentially where they should start with it, because that was kind of the biggest flaw, was that you'd get random mini crits when you didn't do anything to deserve it. You know, someone would accidentally jump or walk off a ledge, and you'd shoot them the same as you would with any weapon, but this one would just reward you for nothing. Now, it's going to be annoying still because you can air blast then use it, or whatever, they jump and you use it, but at least it doesn't have that just randomness to it, which is good. It's a good start. We'll see whether that's enough. The half Zatoichi? The sword thing, now considered a sword. Oh, I thought it was a sword. Apparently, increase holster and deploy time. So apparently if you're classified as a sword, you have a certain stat. I didn't know that. Honor bound change. Deals 50 self damage on holster if no kill is made. So now you can holster it. That's good. I always thought it was really silly that you couldn't do that before. Cannot be holstered if the player's below 50 life and no kill is made. What? I feel like you should be able to suicide. I feel like you should be able to suicide. That's like, I feel like that would play into the whole samurai thing. Anyways, 100% life restore on kill changed to 50% health gain on kill that can result in overheal. So if you kill people, I don't know if this is a buff or a nerf. I don't know. It works both ways, I guess. 50% overheal if you're full health would be pretty amazing, like if you're flanking. But this weapon was never really used anyway. It's a pub weapon. Anyways, so these are positive changes. I don't know, nothing wrong with that. Nothing I would complain about. It's just a slightly different playstyle. I don't think people are complaining about that before. Scout, Pretty Boy's pocket pistol. Increased health recovered on hit from 3 to 5. This is probably good. Before they changed how the pocket pistol worked, it was the best because it just gave you flat more health, and you could like get overhealed to over 200 health as a scout. Then they changed it to this, where you gaining health on hit, and it was pretty much worthless because 3 was not enough. 5 might make it more useful. So this is a good change because that weapon was useless after they changed it. Mad Milk, extinguishing an ally will now reduce the cooldown by 20%. So it's just trying to promote teamwork. Fine by me. Nothing wrong with that. I think using a Mad Milk to extinguish a teammate is the least useful way to use it. So now they're lessening that blow to use it to help your team, which is good. Rap Assassin. So Rap Assassin, I think they might have buffed it here. So let's look. Now 40%, 42% more festive. Okay. I think that's taking it a bit too far. Ornament shatters on all impacts, dealing a small amount of damage in a small radius. Bleed effect still only applies to a target that is struck directly. So the thing about this weapon is, as a scout, like, having a recharging long-range weapon that now does splash damage, I mean, it's probably a tiny amount of damage, I don't really know yet, but I don't really see the point in adding that to scout. Same with, like, the guillotine. Like, there's no real reason to add that to the scout, in my opinion, so I don't know. Buffing this weapon is a bit weird to me. Ball recharge rate increased by 25%, so now it's even more effective. Damage penalty reduced from -70% to -65%. That's when you're like hitting people, right? Pretty much irrelevant. So I would say overall this is much stronger, but it was already kind of a questionable item in the beginning, so I will have to try that one out. Moving on to Soldier. Beggar's Bazooka. Decreased blast radius by 20%. So this is a weapon that a lot of people complained about because, I don't know, you could just instantly kill a lot of people. And my biggest problem with this weapon is the fact that reloading is faster than, like, if you're at 0 rockets, firing 1 rocket at a time is faster than with the normal rocket launcher. So it's actually like much more dangerous if you're like a scout chasing the soldier. However, it only can load up to 3 rockets, so it has its pros and cons. Decreased blast radius will make it a little bit better. So it got slightly tweaked. That's fine. I think people will enjoy that. The Contra. So this one was a bit unexpected, a bit crazy. Double health regeneration rate. Regeneration rate is now decreased if player has been recently damaged. So the Conjurer is already probably the best of the banners that you can run, the backpacks or whatever, because it just has the biggest effect. I think that because if you think about what buff banner boosts everyone's damage, and then backup boosts everyone's defense or whatever, and blocks crits, right? Conjurer does like the speed and the health, so it already has a huge effect, and it's fairly easy to charge. And now you get even more health. I don't know. This one seems a bit questionable to me. I don't think this weapon needed a buff. It was already one of the best soldier unlocks. Base Jumper removed hidden property of updraft when on fire. Cool. Market Gardener added 20% attack speed penalty. A lot of people probably complain about this, but I think Market Gardener gives you such a huge like benefit, and it's like essentially just like a straight upgrade over the shovel, I guess a lot of people will say, that adding some sort of drawback would be necessary, so that's fine. I don't know. All you'll have to do is time your attack speed a little bit differently. You should be able to pull off everything you used to be able to, but now you just have to be like you just have to time it differently, right? So, well, and then I guess if you're just like running at people, you can't kill them as fast. Oh well. It's meant to. They maintained the effectiveness in the upper skill ceiling of the weapon, and decreased it in the lower skill ceiling, if that makes sense. So this is fine. Airstrike. Reduced blast radius by 20% when rocket jumping. 20% reduction when compared to stock. This is pretty big. A lot of people complained about this weapon, like when combined with the base jumper. I never really felt like the airstrike was overpowered, so nerfing it is a little bit questionable to me. But when you do get up to like those 8 rockets or whatever, or 6 rockets loaded, and you're spamming down, it can be a bit crazy. So now you'll have a better chance of surviving it, I guess. I don't know. Guess we'll have to see how it works. But if it's worthless now, that'd be too bad, because I used to think that weapon was okay. All right. Sniper. The Cleaner's Carbine. Reduced firing rate penalty from 35% to 20%. So it shoots faster. Okay. Added Crikey meter, which is filled by dealing damage. Mini crits are no longer activated by kill, but can instead be activated by alt fire when the Crikey meter is filled. So, yeah, the way this used to work is just any kill would allow you to shoot mini crits, right? So now you can time it, which is interesting. The fact that it loads by damage, I guess I just need to know how much damage it takes. Hopefully it's like a significant amount, because a sniper just running around, oh, is it filled by sniper damage or only carbine damage? That's what I'll have to test. Because if it's just carbine damage, then that would be pretty hard to charge, but I imagine it will charge by sniper damage too. Mini crit on activation, so this could be a pretty big deal. I don't know, because a lot of times you'd get a kill with this and then there would be no one else to kill, but now you can save it, so it's definitely much more effective. Cozy Camper. Alright, this one's going to be a bit of a problem for me. Quadrupled health regeneration rate. Regeneration rate has now decreased if players have been recently damaged. So, recently I've been noticing that the Cozy Camper is run more and more in competitive. It's pretty much the best secondary for a sniper these days. Just because usually if you're sniping, you're going to be pretty far back, and in competitive, if you think about it, you're dealing with mostly soldiers and demos, and I mean scouts can chip shot you, but not really anything that's gonna like instant kill you across the map, or anything that can really do a lot of damage from long range. So the Cozy Camper, like not having the flinch or whatever, and I don't know, regenning the health, like it's been really popular because I don't know, as a sniper you can just run away. You don't need to have your SMG out, whatever. I'm kind of, I don't know. I feel like everyone knows this weapon didn't need a buff. I don't know. They should have buffed the classic, right, Blood? Um, I don't know. Girardi, same as the Mad Milk, I guess. But I always hated Girardi. Like Girardi, I hate a lot more than Mad Milk. But they're kind of doing the same thing, promoting teamwork. Again, it's the worst way to use the weapon is to like extinguish your teammates. So yeah. Um, but damn, this cozy camper. This one really bothers me. It really bothers me. We'll see what happens. It's just like there's no way to like reliably survive against a sniper now at long range. That's just because before you could pepper him or spam him or whatever, but now he can just tank those shots. And if he like surfs one rocket, a few seconds later he's like gonna have regen quite a bit of health. Um, yeah, that one's gonna bother me. Pyro, baby, here we go. Pyros like to collect rainbows. Extinguishing a teammate will now return 20 health to the pyro. Okay. I wouldn't say this happens too often, but it seems they really like to encourage extinguishing teammates now, so whatever. It's cool. Pyro's been buffed. Pyro mains can celebrate. Alright. Consecutive air blasts will no longer prevent enemies from air strafing until they touch the ground. Okay. So this one I'm actually pretty excited about. I'm very happy to hear about this because the worst thing that would happen is you have some sort of momentum and you get air blasted, and then you just, god damn, you can't move. I just got a sub here from who's that? Mika Nosh. Thanks for subbing, but I've got to talk about this. Consecutive air blasts no longer prevent enemies from air strafing. I think this is at least what everyone wanted. I think even if you main Pyro, you wanted this to happen because it makes sense. All right. It just the gameplay experience of not being able to strafe was awful, but now it will make a little bit more sense. You can control yourself. Should be able to get out of the air blast. As a scout in particular, that will be awesome. The base flamethrower damage falloff over distance has been decreased, resulting in higher damage output at range. Falloff has been decreased, higher damage output at range. Okay, so the base flamethrower has been buffed. I think this is a good change because lately the only thing that pyros use is, well, no one uses the flamethrower basically. That's the problem. They use degreaser mainly, maybe flog or backburner, but the regular flamethrower was never used, so giving it a little bit of a buff, hey, maybe some people use it now. Especially after this, degreaser. No longer boosts all-around switch speed, instead boosts switch to speed by 60 and switch from speed by 30. Okay, that's fine. The switch speed was never really a problem on this weapon. Remove damage penalty, so it does more damage now. Okay. And then here they increased air blast cost by 25%. I think this was a much needed change because people were only using the degreaser to play pyro and essentially were mainly using it to air blast. So penalizing the air blast a little bit might promote a little bit more flamethrower use as well, because now this will have the cheapest air blast on the flamethrower, which is good. And then increased afterburn penalty from 25% to 66, so maybe a slight nerf to damage. And at this point, I'll talk about the fact that I coincidentally made a video recently about Pyro balance changes. And then there were some changes made to Pyro, some similar to the ones that I suggested. And I will kill the rumor that I had anything to do with it as far as I know. Just a coincidence, honestly. But I think it shows either that Valve was maybe paying attention, had the same ideas, or something like that. I had zero influence over this, I promise you. Okay? Though, if I wanted to, I probably could have had influence, but I was too lazy to tell them about it, I guess. So, that's pretty much it. Um, these are the right changes. Like it's the right thing to do. So I was just right. I wasn't. I didn't influence them. I just had the right idea. Not like the specific numbers, but like the idea. That's all I ever care about. The idea. All right. Anyway, moving on. The Phlogistinator, the Floginaster. All right. Remove 10% damage penalty. Cool. So they removed like all the damage penalties on these things. So they're trying to boost that pyro damage, trying to get that up. When activating the taunting pyro gains temporary invulnerability and immunity to knockback effects. So this one's a little bit questionable. So I need to test this again, but not being able to be knocked back or take damage when like capping a point could be pretty massive. Hopefully you can't cap, but I'm thinking you can. I don't know. I expect that you'll be able to cap or complete objectives while invulnerable, which is a big problem in my opinion. The Flog was like always my favorite. Always my favorite flamethrower, honestly, just because it felt like more of a DM like class than like a support class, I guess, using like air blast and stuff. I always like the Flog. It's like my favorite, honestly. So now it's been buffed, so I'll probably love it, but it might be a little bit too much, honestly, because I was already like most people could already be effective with it. It didn't really need this. I feel like the Flog was used enough that they didn't really need to promote using it more. I don't know. All right, Extinguisher. Properties changed. 100% chance to crit against burning targets. So they brought that back, which is good. Well, for this weapon at least. 33% damage penalty, 20% slower attack speed, 75% slower switch to speed. So all this shit's irrelevant. I think the reason they did this was because of the power jack being so prominent that the Extinguisher needed to have something. Need to have something to attract people back to it. But I think this might be too much. I don't know. The crits were always really annoying because you could, especially. I mean, it depends how the air blast feels now. But if you can't escape an air blast and you just get instantly crit, that's gonna be really frustrating. So yeah, I think I don't know if they needed to make this happen, but something to like some of the other melee weapons that are much worse for Pyro, maybe getting a buff on those would have made the power jack less appealing. But now people at least be torn between the Extinguisher and power jack, I guess. Going to Medic now. Medics now have slightly higher health regeneration when healing a hurt patient. So this is pretty crazy, honestly. I believe it heals at 6 health per second. If you are healing a weak player. God damn, man. Huge air shot. Just thank you. Huge air shot for subbing. Appreciate it, guys. I would flatter you more and praise you, but I have to focus. But thank you. Continuing on. So what I feel like this will do is, for one, make Medic more fun because you die less because you get more health. Doing your job, healing weak players, stuff like that. But specifically, it will encourage medics to commit to fights more, where normally they'd be running away if their player is low, but now they can kind of afford to stay in a bit longer because they're going to be gaining more health if they heal a weak player. So I think this actually increases some of that risk-reward decision making for medic, and I think it's pretty cool. For me as like a soldier though, you know, or anyone who wants to kill a medic, it's going to be frustrating because say your soldier jumps their med, does 90 damage, your med starts healing someone maybe unintentionally who's weak, so his health goes up faster, and now that medic is like, it's hard to predict how much health they have, you know? That's kind of the problem. I guess now you're going to have to sort of just overestimate medic's health, but it's a good thing in general to make medics like have a better quality of life, I guess. So, whatever, we'll take it. Um, During setup time, Ubercharged build rate is now increased by 3 times. So I'm not really sure where this came from. I think maybe just to allow people to switch to medic later in rounds, like during setup in pubs. Apparently, you can use crits Krieg, pop a crits, and then switch it, and then get another charge faster. I don't know, but or get charged by the time setup ends. But I don't really see this affecting competitive at all because there's not really setup time. I guess in payload maps there are, but I don't think this will really affect anything. It's kind of like a pub thing, so more people can play medic. That's how I see it. The amputator taunt can now be activated by alt fire. Okay, irrelevant. Healing done with the taunt now grants small amounts of uber charge. That's actually pretty awesome. Depending on how much that is, this weapon could be viable because the heal is actually massive. So I'm curious how much that is. I definitely want to test that one. Vaccinator. Here we go. So this weapon has been subtly like it's like on the verge of being overpowered. So let's see what they did. Remove 10% health regeneration on proper resist. Okay, that's good because it's always annoying to like shoot someone and they're gaining health from you shooting them. That didn't really make sense. That was always kind of dumb. Added slight ubercharge build on proper resist. I think that's okay. That's smart. That's rewarding, I guess. Increased ubercharge rate from plus 50 to plus 67. Okay, now that's nutty. This thing is going to build so goddamn fast. Reduced overhealed ubercharge build rate penalty to 33% from 66%. Okay, interesting. As this penalty is applied after the base increase, healing an overhealed patient is now 33% more effective. So Vaccinator got buffed, I'd say. I'd say so. Makes a little bit more sense to play against, but overall is a bit stronger. Vaccinator in general is used to hold last. Oh man, what's happening? Oh, a donation. Sorry guys. You guys are like trying to interrupt me and stuff. I will read all that stuff after this. I need to focus. I'm sorry, but thank you. Just be patient. All right. Crossbow, Crusader's crossbow. Healing a player with an arrow now grants a small amount of uber charge. I think this is it's a good change. I'd say in general this won't make a big difference. For me, like I could see this being like used for building uber on last, because I believe if you do a long range arrow, you can build 10%, and I think you can shoot them. You can shoot 10 arrows, I think, in faster than 40 seconds. I think. So you should be able to actually build uber faster with this, which I don't think should be possible. I like the idea of granting uber charge percentage, but I don't think it should be as much as it is. The only reason that arrowing was like so frowned upon before was because you wouldn't be building uber while you're arrowing. Now you are, so that's cool. It's good because you are healing, so why not build uber, I guess. But you're not overhealing, but maybe just slow it down a little bit. I don't know. So I don't know. I think this is a good change. Again, they're trying to like make medic a more fun class and promote being a good medic, just doing your job, and you know, they don't want to punish you for being a medic. They want to make it enjoyable and fun. So now more people are going to be excited about playing medic. So what's wrong with that? You know, you can never get enough medics. Heal me. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, quick fix. Fix cases where the quick fix ubercharged players could still be affected by certain knockback effects. Okay, so now it just matches the description. Players can no longer capture objectives while under the effects of the quick fix ubercharge. That's great. The quick fix before used to have way too many things going for it. You could jump, heal quickly, overheal, cap points, build quickly. So it has like so many things going for it. Taking away the capping is good. I think they need to nerf one more thing about it though, and I would say they need to nerf the building rate. I don't think this is going to be enough to make the quick fix not the best beam to run. And the reason the quick fix is the best like medigun to use is because um, on rollouts to mid, you can get your medic there tanking your demo before the entire other team gets there. Runs faster on the scouts too, so like you just get there way faster, and it builds super fast, so you're always gonna have an Uber advantage, and you can kite like really easily by jumping away, and because when you pop the charge, you're essentially invincible, except to a sticky trap and a heavy basically, but you're not gonna really die in like a solo v solo Uber. You're you're basically an Uber. You're basically an invulnerable Uber. So that's why the quick fix is still a little bit broken. So I would like to see them at least nerf it a little bit more, like the building rate, so that you can keep up with it if you're on crits or regular Uber. That would be nice. All right, spy. The HUD cloak meter now displays motion and feign, while cloak and dagger and dead ring are equipped respectively. So it just makes more sense to beginners, I guess. Dead Ringer, initial damage reduction when fading death increased to 75% from 50. So a slight buff, I guess. You can survive more. I mean, it still should be fairly easy to know whether you're fighting against a Dead Ringer spy. I don't really think this ever really mattered, because after they feign, they usually go get some big health pack or whatever. So after they nerfed it before, I think this is okay. I don't see any problem with this. Bicycle fixed a bug where ammo packs from dead players were not filling the meter. Okay. Fire immunity shield no longer appears when fire immunity is triggered. I guess that, I don't know why they would do that. Maybe it's just too obvious, or like too glaring of a visual effect. I don't know why they would do this. 'Cause I think it like, I don't know, it made sense, kind of. Maybe they just want spies to be able to disappear. I don't know. Maybe there was a situation where if the shield appeared on you, you couldn't, like, sneak away. I don't fucking know. You couldn't cloak, maybe? Not sure. Alright. But I don't think these things will really change anything. Once you've found a spy, you're gonna find him. Like, it doesn't matter. Alright, heavy. Fist of Steel. This weapon is pretty broken, so let's see what they did. Remove deploy time penalty. Added penalty of increased holster time. I feel like they won't really, this doesn't really change what the weapon does at all, so pretty irrelevant, I would say. The problem with Fist of Steel, in my opinion, is the damage reduction. You can just run a heavy on the objective, and no one can kill him. Like, no one at all. So that's kind of dumb. And the other, okay, I guess this actually does come into play, because the thing you used to do with Fist of Steel is run at people, bait them to pull out their melee, then you switch to your minigun and you kill them. So now you won't be able to do that. You can still get meleeed in that window, I guess. So I guess that's okay. I guess that's good. It's a good start, at least. But no one wants to melee a fucking heavy. Why would you melee a heavy? Alright, anyways. Gloves of running urgently. Increase holster time penalty. Okay, slight nerf. It's good, but the reason this weapon is like broken is because of the speed, honestly. But I guess this means the mini crits will last a bit longer, so maybe it's good. I don't know. It's probably it is a nerf. Like, these things are nerfs, but I feel like they're not really hitting the issue with the item. You know what I mean? Warrior Spirit now heals 50 health on kill. Damage received and dealt increased by 30%. Removed health penalty. So this is a big one. Damage received and dealt increased by 30%. This got a huge buff, didn't it? I guess, so this is kind of going back to like that balance. They want people to use something that they were never using. I don't think, at least in competitive, no one was using this. In like Highlander, it was always this kind of stuff. So that's cool. Ooh, look at this. This is interesting. Now provides 15% more move speed bonus. Eviction notice. Now increases damage taken by 20%. I wish they would specify whether that's when it's out or not. I'm going to assume it's when it's out. So this could be like a little bit of a side grade to the gloves of running urgently, maybe? No mini crits taken, so I think that's a good start. I don't know. I don't think anyone uses this. I think the speed is the most attractive thing about this, for sure. And now we get to a bunch of melee weapons. Alright, Demoman slash Demo Knight. Shield Bash now deals damage at all ranges, scaled by distance. Interesting. That will probably be a bit annoying. Because, I don't know, people just right in your face, or like right-clicking to go like 1 foot and then meleeing you is like free damage for no reason. I feel like that's kind of silly. Melee damage boost after shield bash is based on amount of charge consumed. Now provides mini crit at 25%, full crit at 60%. Let's think about this. Does this mini crit more often? I don't actually know the numbers before right off the top of my head. So this I can't really say whether or not this is like better or worse. I don't know. I feel like, oh, it used to be based on what? Distance? I don't know. I feel like that's the same thing. I have no idea, honestly, but I'll try it out. Charging now removes debuffs from the Demo Knight. Interesting. I huh. Well, I'll do anything to get Girardi off of me, so I like that, I guess. The only reason I even play Demo Knight is so I can just resist things and um resist things and yeah, just shoot pipes at people. So I guess this helps me out. I will survive more. It looks good to me. Demo nights though are very prevalent in pubs, so it'll probably be annoying. I think Pyros won't like it, but I feel like bleeding, Mad Milk, and Girardi almost never. They rarely happen, so I don't know. It's not that big a deal. All swords now have a slower deploy and holster speed compared to base weapons, in addition to their increased melee range. Okay, so now that explains that sword classification from upper or up in the update. What weapon was that was considered a sword? The samurai sword. Right. So all swords have a slower deploy and holster speed. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. They usually have, yeah, they have extra range, so now they have less deploy speed. Cool. Splendid screen. Remove the ability to deal charge impact damage at any range. Hmm. Oh, right, because now all of them do that. So they didn't actually remove it, right? That's what they all do now. Or is it saying it undid that buff? I can't tell. I'll have to test it. Now increases recharge rate by 50%. Increase blast radius percent. That's cool. I like that. I don't know. My favorite thing about the shields is honestly just the resistances. I never really cared about charging at people because I mainly like to use it for grenade launcher. Tide Turner now grants mini crit instead of full crit on charge bash. That's a good thing probably. I feel like because it was so easy to control, you could like just bash people really easily, so toning down, like reducing the number of crits in the game, I feel like is in general a good thing because it's just fewer one-shot kills, which are kind of frustrating to play against. So yeah, and sometimes pretty low skill, honestly, for what they reward you with. Reduce resistances to 15%. So now this is like exclusively like all the resistances are quite low on this one. So this one's like really, really tailored towards that, like trying to escape and like go around corners and just go in and out really fast and chasing people down, rather than like sustained fights like you can with the charge and targe. Reduce blast rate. Oh no, reduce blast resistance. No, I'm so sad. Now I'll die to soldiers a lot more. Remove fire immunity. Now I'm sad again, but at least you can charge out of it, right? So this was a pretty significant nerf to me, because this one was my favorite, even though these other ones were like pretty good for charging. This one was my favorite for just tanking damage, but now it's not as good. Hey, at least more people use stickies now, right? Because Demo Knights are annoying. Clade him more. That's how you say that, I'm sure. Removed charge duration bonus. Okay, that's good. Because sometimes that charge went so fucking far, it was insane. Now restores 25 health on kill. Okay, that's fine. Removed health penalty. Ooh, I like that. Now this one's actually pretty good. I used to hate the health penalty on the melees. Increased damage taken while active by 15%. So if someone's charging at you, they're easier to kill. Cool! Like, none of this stuff really matters, but I'm reading it anyway. Because these weapons were never really, like, broken. That's why they don't really matter. That's why I'm, like, brushing off most of this, just so you know. Because most of this stuff is, like, not going to change the game. Persian Persuader. Removed ammo pickups granting health instead of ammo. Oh, yeah. That was kind of annoying, I think. You couldn't pick up ammo, right? Added penalties of reduced primary and secondary ammo. Damn, that sucks. Ammo pickups now replenish charge. So this is, like, exclusively a charge weapon. Even more than it was before. Now gains charge meter on hit. Yeah, so this is just, like, the charge farmer. Alright, cool. If that's your playstyle, have at it. I don't care. Quickie Bomb Launcher. Fizzle time increased from 2 to 4 seconds. So I actually recently just was playing with this weapon in a lobby and realized it's actually pretty good. And then the one thing that it's unable to do is like traps, but now you can trap for 4 seconds, and that's pretty good because now you can sustain a trap like on the last point or something, or on a doorway before they push. You know, 4 seconds is a pretty big window for like a trap to be up. If you time it well, you can have a trap on a doorway. And so now this is actually quite good, I'd say. You just have to be really, really just like on top of your traps and stuff if you want to be putting them out. So Cookie Bomb Launcher, quite a buff. Viable, question mark. Potentially now a side grade to the Sticky Bomb Launcher, because the trapping makes a huge difference. Yeah, and it can destroy enemy traps. So this might be better than people think right now. Olapool Caber, base melee damage increased from 35 to 55. Why? Added 20% fire rate penalty. Added 100% switch to time penalty. I don't know why they would increase the melee damage on this. The explosion is like enough damage. I'm confused. But people don't really use it anyways, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm forgetting something, but yeah. I don't know. I don't get it. Loose cannon. So this is the other troublesome weapon that people have been complaining about a lot recently, is a loose cannon, because of knockback, double donks, explosion, like projectile radius, all that stuff. So loose cannon, hot topic these days. Reduced projectile speed, now a visible attribute. So I wonder how slow it is. That was the other thing. A lot of people struggled to dodge this thing. So hopefully it's easier to dodge now. Medics can get out of the way. That's a good thing, I guess. I like, maybe now it's like lock and load super fast, grenade launcher mid range, and then loose cannon slow. I don't know. It's probably not like that slow, but maybe. Reduced cannon impact damage from 60 to 50. Damage also scales with distance. So this is basically the reason why I always thought the loose cannon wasn't that good, was just because the base impact damage is so low. It's really hard to defend yourself. So I think but then a lot of people said, well, even though it might be hard to defend yourself, it's still an amazing weapon because the double donks, which is probably true. But now it's even worse at that close range, but the double donks still exist. And this should reduce double donk damage by 10 as well, right? So essentially, you can survive with a little bit more health. Let's close that. Damage also scales with distance. So if you're closer, less damage, I assume? Or closer, more damage? Huh. I'm not sure. I'm going to assume it's fall off. Reduce knockback from cannon hit. Knockback strength is now similar to air blast. So that's also good, because before people just get juggled all over the place. So now loose cannon is just much more of a, you have to hit your double donks to really get the full utility of the weapon. spamming it is not going to be nearly as good. So I think that's a very positive change. They've done a good job. Moving on, engineer. We're almost to the end. Oh, not quite. All right, engineer. After removing a sapper from a sentry, there's now a 0.5-second delay before the sentry is active again. Huh. Sentries got nerfed, huh? I have never been a big fan of sentries, but it's more of a spy buff. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see this as being necessary. I felt like some of these changes might have been more necessary, but okay. Sentries brought into a respawn room no longer detonate outside of man versus machine. I like this a lot actually because I've accidentally brought things into my spawn and they just blow up immediately, and it's kind of annoying, kind of upsetting. Um, so eliminating that is cool to me, assuming that I'm interpreting it correctly. The Jag added damage penalty against buildings now takes 3 hits to destroy a sapper. I feel like that's a um, pretty good nerf, especially the sapper part. I feel like this is pretty irrelevant, but the sapper part, that could make a big difference. It'll allow sappers to really take down things that have been jagged. But yeah. So I actually like that. I like that. Gives a bit of a of a nerf, I guess, because I always ran the Jag and I had no problem running it. I don't know. But then again, there aren't a lot of spies in competitive 6v6. Anyways, Rescue Ranger, healing per bolt reduced from 75 to 60. I like this a lot too, because the Rescue Ranger was, in my opinion, slightly too powerful. Just because you could keep a sentry that's being spammed alive from long range, which didn't really make much sense. So now it's going to be a bit harder. If you already have like the Wrangler, you have this, like combining this with the Wrangler made sentries very difficult to take out. So I am a fan of this. It's still going to be effective, but just not like, it's not like insane. I feel like NGs will still run it though. I think it'll be fine. Now let's go. General. Smith has begun. Receive your Spirit of Giving badge. Ooh. I need to open my stocking. Noisemaker. Oh, can't wait to hear everybody spamming those. What? Have I been naughty or nice? Wait. Okay, all this stuff is pretty much irrelevant, so that was the important stuff. Strange count transfer tool. I don't really care about strange weapons, so to me this doesn't really matter, but I'm sure all you guys that like collecting items are going to love this one. Takes the strange scores from one item and adds them to another. The count from the source item is reset to 0. Strange part scores are only transferred and zeroed if a matching strange part is found. Can only be used between strange items of the same base type. Cool. Can be crafted by 2 strange parts in the crafting menu. Ooh. Is this how you make fat money? No, they're probably really plentiful. I should make some of those and sell them. They're probably worthless. Alright. Updated case opening item drop algorithm. Going forward, players are now less likely to get duplicated items from the same rarity tier on repeated case openings. Damn. That means if I get an unusual, I'm less likely to get an unusual on the next one? I'm sad. I've actually never unboxed an unusual, so that's still on my TF2 bucket list. But maybe this will help me get there someday. That's nice. Now crate opening is a little bit less worthless, I guess. Updated several weapon sounds with consistency fixes. Wow, thank you, man with that name. Alright, updated the scoreboard. Reordered some of the columns. Added an image to represent player ping values instead of the actual ping values. Added an option in advanced options to use the actual ping values. Yeah, this is nice. It looks a lot cleaner. So I've been a fan of these changes. It's looking more modern, more professional, man. Though I am not going to use this image. I'm using the actual values because I don't think having 80 ping is green, okay? 80 ping is red, boys. 80 ping is fucking red. It's not green, Valve. Give me 30 ping, okay? Then we can be green. Alright. Updated several weapon descriptions to better detail their functionality. Great! Gifted by tag can now be removed. Aw, but think about all the weapons I signed. Alright. Fixed a bug in MVM where medic bots with unusually long Uber effects could have the effect timeout prematurely. Ooh, medics got buffed. Robot medics. Alright. Fixed a bug where unusual slider was not properly saving. That is so important. All strange parts can now be applied to strange cosmetic items. Strange parts added to the backpack context menu for strange items. Paints now display both market and Manco store prices in the backpack context menu on paintable items. Added case and crate opening animation. Oh shit, I want to see that. I might have to open a case tonight, boys. Fix seeing the fire texture on the Captain Spaceman, a head full of hot air, and the Tomb Raiders. Oh, DX8. Right. Why are they updating DX8? Updated the models / materials for some item. Alright. Updated the Cape Crusader to include a team-colored style. I like that. Players can no longer use blast damage to move during the pre-round freeze period. Why is this at the end? This one is quite upsetting. A bit controversial. Questionable, too. It's all of these things. Not sure what to think of it, to be honest. Basically, it means your demo gets to mid slower. That's what it means. It also means your heals are going to be a little bit more, like, spawn's going to be more cluttered, so the medic might struggle a little bit more to heal people, to buff them. So we're all in the habit of jumping in spawn as a demo or soldier, at least as a pocket. And a lot of people have pointed out that this makes your spawn location that much more important. Say your demo spawns at the back. Well, now instead of being only 1 second, delayed because he can't jump to spawn, or he can't jump to the spawn door, now he's actually going to be like 2 seconds delayed because he's like a bit further back. That's the thing. Yes, there is this line that allows you to utilize the old behavior. I think at this point in time, well, obviously this is not the default right now to like use the old behavior, but if enough people complain, perhaps this will come back. But I want to think about what are maybe some of the positive effects of having the inability to move during freeze period. What are the positives, honestly? It just simplifies it, maybe, for beginners. Maybe matchmaking, they're trying to simplify it. I'll have to try to get to the bottom of this, try and get a real explanation. Which luckily I have the contacts to do, but what could possibly be the benefit of this? Yeah, I just can't think of it. I don't know. It makes the rounds just more standard. I don't know, less reliant on rollouts. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Fix the spicicle not melting properly if the spy is burned while stunned. Cool. Add an option to batch overhead combat text. Awesome. I don't use that, but a lot of people like it. And then there's performance improvements, which I'm not going to read, but we'll take their word for it. TF2 is running better now. Manpower changes, I'm not going to read that because I don't think manpower should exist. And then let's look at these faces. They're beautiful. I wonder what's in this box. All right, that's it. So that's the update. It's called the Tough Break update. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you enjoy the update itself. Play more TF2. It's a great game. All right.